So this section that we are reading is proving the point how potent Mother Earth is in producing not just what we see as agricultural produce, but much more than that. And how from the time of King Pṛthu's regime, essentially this whole planet Earth started becoming, I would say, inhabitable for all kinds of species of life. And this background that we are getting from here is directly connected with how important sacrifices are for bringing forth, I would say, prosperity and happiness. And this ties back to also the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna brings in the same element that sacrifice is the basis for all happiness and prosperity. So we can find how Mahārāja Pṛthu, after reprimanding Mother Earth for her withholding all the grains and the seeds, finally understood the situation from Mother Earth, and then he accepted Mother Earth's suggestion to employ a process by which there will be a calf, and then that calf is a representative towards which Mother Earth has an affection for, and based on which particular milk would get generated, and that milk represented the various desires of different forms of living entities. So first Pṛthu Maharaj started as an example where he transformed Swayambhu Manu into a calf, and thereby he milked all the herbs and the grains from the earth in the form of a cow. So earth was in the form of a cow, and herbs and the grains, they were representing the milk. And the milk was produced because of earth's affection for Swayambhuva Manu, who is representing a calf. So at this point, we can see that Maitreya Rishi had answered pretty much all the questions that Vidura has asked, except for one question, which is about the sacrificial performance of 100 Ashwamedh Yajna, and how Indra stole the horse, and that will come in the next chapter. Since Mother Earth was now prepared to produce whatever the desirables were, so different personalities, they started following in the footsteps of Pṛthu Maharaj, and then they were also performing similar sacrifices to milk the earth. So Brahaspati, so starting with Brahaspati, Indra, then Diti's sons, the inhabitants of Gandharva Loka, Apsara Loka, Pitra Loka, Siddha Loka, then Vidyadhara Lok, Kim Purusha Lok, the Yakshas, Rakshasas, ghosts and witches, poisonous snakes and other creatures, then four-legged animals, birds and trees, they all milked their desires from the earth according to their individual capabilities as well as needs. So typically our desires are determined by the modes of material nature with which we are associating. And here we can find that by following Pṛthu Maharaj, even those whose desires were born of mode of ignorance, like the Yakshas and the Rakshasas, they gained from the earth whatever they desired and whatever they needed. Even the living entities with ignorant desires as to drink alcohol were able to gain what they needed from the earth. And therefore, in the In the verse number 13 purport, where it is pointed out how everyone is following in the footsteps of King Pṛthu, Prabhupada is writing that the planet Earth is also called Vasundhara. The word Vasu means wealth, and Dhara means one who holds. So we can see here, Vasundhara, the wealth that Earth holds, there is practically no limit to it. It's not just the basic agricultural crops, but Earth has much more to offer. And that's what is coming out in this particular section. So all creatures within the earth fulfill the necessities required for human beings, and all living entities can be taken out of the earth by the proper means. So it's a question of learning the proper means and the mood of sacrifice. And Pṛthu Maharaj here showed how exactly you can mine the surface of the earth. So as suggested by the planet Earth and accepted and initiated by King Pṛthu, whatever is taken from the earth, either from the mines, from the surface of the globe, or from the atmosphere, should always be considered the property of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and should be used for yajna, Lord Vishnu. As soon as the process of yajna is stopped, the earth will withhold all productions, vegetables, trees, plants, fruits, flowers, other agricultural products and minerals. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, the process of yajna was instituted from the beginning of creation, and this is the 3rd chapter reference. By the regular performance of yajna, the equal distribution of wealth and the restriction of sense gratification, the entire world will be made peaceful and prosperous. And now Prabhupada comes down to what applies to today's day and age. So in this age of Kali, the simple performance of Sankirtan Yajna, the holding of festivals as initiated by the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, should be introduced in every town and village. Intelligent men should encourage the performance of Sankirtan Yajna by their personal behavior. This means that they should follow the process of austerity by restricting themselves from illicit sex life, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. If the intelligent men or the brahmanas of society would follow the rules and regulations, certainly the entire face of this present world, which is in such chaotic condition, would change and people would be happy and prosperous. So what we are learning is that the sacrifice is the basis for earth to produce all the desirables, and behind the earth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because everything is the property of the Supreme Lord. And therefore that mood of yajna is there for the pleasure of Vishnu. Then naturally earth is used as an instrument by the Supreme Lord to supply all necessities of life for bringing happy and prosperous conditions. And that sacrifice for this age of Kali, Prabhupada is pointing out, is the performance of Sankirtan Yajna. And it is pointed out in the 26th verse that the planet Earth supplied everyone his respective food. During the time of King Pṛthu, the earth was fully under the control of the king. Thus, all the inhabitants of the earth could get their food supply by creating various types of cows and putting their particular types of milk in various pots. So as we mentioned before also, a calf is generally necessary for creating an attraction for the cow. So here the cow is Mother Earth, and the calf has to be someone who is generally pure and a pure representative that earth gets a natural affection for. And that affection that the earth has towards the calf becomes the reason for producing the milk, which is essentially representing various necessities. So Prabhupada is writing in the 26th purport that this is evidence that the Lord supplies food to everyone. As confirmed in the Vedas, Eko Bahunam Yo Vedadhati Kaman. Although the Lord is one, He is supplying all the necessities to everyone through the medium of the planet Earth. There are different varieties of living entities on different planets, and they all derive their eatables from their planets in different forms. On the basis of these descriptions, how can one assume that there is no living entity on the moon? Even every moon is earthly, being composed of the 5 elements. Every planet produces different types of food according to the needs of its residents. So when people are going to the moon, they are not residents, they are visitors. According to the Vedic Shastras, it is not true that the moon does not produce food or that no living entity is living there. And if you just take any example, okay, what is serving as a calf, what is serving um, as a milk. So let's take 16th verse as an example, because every verse has, as you saw, there is a particular representative of God chosen as a calf, and an affection towards that is generating milk in the form of various desirables. So 16th verse, I'm just picking randomly. You can pick any of the verses and go through the purport. So here, the sons of Diti. So the sons of Ditis, who are the Daityas, right? And the demons, they care about what? They care about liquor and beer. So they are caring about alcohol. And so they chose Prahlad Maharaj as a calf to generate alcohol. So they transformed Prahlad Maharaj, who was born in an Asura family, into a calf. And they extracted various kinds of liquor and beer, which they put into a pot made of iron. So Prabhupada is writing in this particular purport, the demons also have their own types of beverages in the form of liquors and beers, just as the demigods use somras for their drinking purposes. And there was a verse dedicated to somras as well, we saw. The demons born of Diti take great pleasure in drinking wine and beer. Even today, people of demoniac nature are very much addicted to liquor and beer. The name of Prahlad Maharaj is very significant in this connection because Prahlad Maharaj was born in a family of demons as the son of Hiranyakashipu. By his mercy, the demons were and still are able to have their drinks in the form of wine and beer. So those who are addicted to alcohol, they should feel grateful to Prahlad Maharaj, essentially. The word ayaha or iron is very significant, whereas the nectarian som was put in a golden pot. The liquors and beers were put in an iron pot. Because the liquor and beer were inferior, they are placed in an iron pot, and because som ras is superior, it is placed in a golden pot. So a lot of information, as we can see in this particular section. So after the earth and has generated all these desirables and satisfied everyone, Pṛthu Maharaj was satisfied, and he developed an affection for the earth just as if she were his own daughter. There was a time he was running after her to kill her because she was withholding the supplies. But after understanding the whole situation and then accepting the practical solution offered by the earth, finally everything emerged to be a happy situation. And then Prahlad Maharaj did the last function, which is leveling the earth. So what happened was that there were rough places on the earth, and therefore they were not suitable for cultivation. And therefore, earth's surface needed to be leveled so that it becomes suitable for cultivation. And he achieved, Pṛthu Maharaj achieved this wonder of leveling the surface of the earth by his own strength. And then after leveling the surface of the earth, then he sectioned off areas of the earth and designated them as residential quarters for various sectors of the population. So interestingly, before this point, there existed no planned cities, villages, or pasturing grounds. So since the time of Pṛthu Maharaj, the towns and villages were planned before they were constructed. So city planning is not a modern invention, but it is actually coming from Pṛthu Maharaj. That's what we are learning from here. And because Pṛthu Maharaj is a Shaktiavesh avatar endowed with the Palana Shakti, the ruling potency, therefore everything, the desirables for living happily in this planet Earth, as well as the conditions of the earth, the organization of the earth, everything had been shaped by the mercy of Pṛthu Maharaj. All right, so that's where we are right now. The next section, begins a fascinating narration of this whole performance of 100 Ashwamedh Yagya sacrifices, and we'll learn a lot from that section. Thank you very much. We'll continue.